Call it HeroesHearth versus Tempo, call it the battle of the best teams in North America, or call it the tortoise versus the hare, because it's going exactly as you would expect with HeroesHearth currently up 2-0.
Start slow, end fast. The hare always just like, it's fine, I can take my time. Except the hare actually wins in this race.
No, the tortoise is HeroesHearth.
Well, they start slow.
Slow and steady wins the race.
But I thought the hare
Oh
always...
God, I didn't clear this with them first, guys. This is on me. This one's on me.
But doesn't the tortoise always start, but the hare is like, oh, I'm so fast, I'll just do it later?
Yeah, he takes a nap.
Yeah, they're starting out napping.
No, but think of it this way. The naps are staggered deaths. There you go.
We're going to have to work on that.
All right, we're going to get that for next time, guys. Don't worry. We're going to team with the Spider Queen for Game 3. Tempo sticking with first pick, feeling like it's very important for them, which is unusual given where Tempo Storm generally finds a lot of their wins. But remember, this is also Tempo Storm on third ban. There's a lot of things to keep in mind.
Tempo Storm, I believe, has lost 1, maybe 2 games total as second pick. They have always prioritized second pick. They've been dominant in that fashion. They've won 2/3 of their game as first pick so far. The numbers were almost similar in all of Phase 1. So to suddenly start prioritizing first pick because of that second ban, this is definitely a change in mentality for them.
For sure. I do think that part of it also comes down to the shared favored battlegrounds. Like before you could say, oh, Tempo Storm will pick Dragonshire. Well, HeroesHearth picks that too quite a lot. It's not banned, and it's Infernal Shrines for HeroesHearth. Same thing with Full Sky Foundry, though it seems less of a favored battleground for Tempo Storm since we came back from the mid-season brawl. As it happens, HeroesHearth likes that one too. I think there's just so much overlap here. The thought is, with third bans and with shared battlegrounds like that, maybe we get the edge by having first pick on a battleground that we do feel comfortable on, which Tomb is a favored battleground for both too.
Just looking at their history, they've been first pick 1 of their 3 times that they've played Tomb. They're 3-0 so far this season. The meta looks a lot different on this battleground compared to the others. Johanna, we've seen a heavy dose of Diablo so far for Ishbu. This is a Johanna favored battleground. Will the Diablo continue? Will Tempo Storm try and shake that up themselves? Those are really big questions they have to ask.
Tempo played an awesome Tomb game versus Team Freedom, where they busted out double support, double warrior, hyper carry Vala. Maybe that's the answer.
They can get away with it.
Probably not.
Team Freedom plays a little bit more passive game, although we've seen a lot of that from HeroesHearth the first 2. But they are explosive in their team fights, and a Vala I don't think would do well in this scenario.
You know what? I let you dream your dreams last game. You let me have mine. Raynor and Blaze will be banned by Tempo Storm prior to the first pick. HeroesHearth takes out Genji, a common pick for Tempo Storm the first 2 games that they played on Tomb the Spider Queen, but also just a lot of aggression to come HeroesHearth's way.
It's happening.
Diablo.
Alex Strassi has made her way atop the North American meta.
Is it Diablo Phoenix again?
Phoenix definitely seems likely. But is Dibbles part of that?
Muradin Phoenix. 1 game yesterday versus Endemic. Ishbu picked Muradin over Johanna. She was still available. Which went to show that after several series of first pick Johanna, they knew that it was likely to be denied from them, especially from B-Kid.
It's never been a matter of can we play something else? It's like, why should we? And speaking of why should we, Medivh making his return.
Who plays that?
I would say Fan.
Okay.
Fan. It was always weird when Tempo would run this in Phase 1 because it never quite looked that great.
Okay.
And it was shared at times. We're finally getting a Medivh though.
And that forces that Stitches ban. Nobody wants to be kidnapped. from Heroes Hearth. They want to stay exactly where they are, where they choose to be.
Solo laner now with Blaze Urel ban. Tahaka, do we get a Thrall ban here from Tempo Storm? Because even if it's not Thrall, Sonya comes to mind. So Greymane.
Something's afoot. There, with the Dahaka Medivh, whoever Vin plays is gonna have to do some work.
Hanzo's still available. So is Jaina, and this is... Say, going into a Medivh with a Jaina, he mitigates a lot of that damage. Post level 7 will throw some of that... Oh, yeah!
Oh, I knew they were doing
Nailed
something.
It. Hey, listen, I said it. No. I said it yesterday. I said with Lifefinder being OP.
You can't say a prediction yesterday and then come back and be like, I called it the whole time. Let me just go I think every hero is going to be played at some point.
I said if now that Lifefinder is good, does Cho'Gall happen? Woo! I didn't even write down the draft. I don't even know what to make of this. Yeah. Slow pan. Keep slowly.
Cho'Gall Medivh. But Dahaka with it. That's my question. Okay.
Well, we get Valeera and Cho'Gall from Tempo Storm all in one series. This is not the Tempo Storm that we used to know.
No.
I'm still surprised that this is the route that they're going.
I do like that Tassadar pickup from Heroes Hearth. It combos well with Phoenix, and then it left that last pick very open. And if it was going to be some kind of burst off of a Leyline Seal Wombo combo, then you have that extra supporting to go with the Malfurion in some way. Then they follow that up with the Vala. I think the draft was about as good as you can hope. She has Manticore for percent damage later on, but what's this?
Cho'Gall wants melee so he can stack his Rune Bomb at level 4. There's just, when you're triple range, this might be the one time where it's like, all right, triple range makes sense. I love Cho'Gall compositions. Every so often, I just go on a Cho'Gall binge. I played a couple Cho'Gall games the other night. You want melee to stack against. Cho'Gall is a ranged hero. Believe it or not, don't let anybody fool you. You only go into melee to heal.
J-Ho, I have bad news for you. Generally, in HGC North America, Cho'Gall does not have the easiest time. But we'll see if it's what Tempo Storm needs to get a win over HeroesHearth Esports. They knew we were going to Tomb at some point. And they bring back the Cho'Gall. Most importantly of all, over anything else in this entire thing, what is the name gonna be? All right, yes, in the blue, Heroes Hearth. They're awesome. They're very good. It's there's no way to say that. SCS Vin. Well. Sven. All right, that's it. Sven.
We're European now.
Sven it is.
Too bad we couldn't get our Van combo, or Finn combo. Ooh. Alex Strazis. Oh, I heard the owl.
So Cho'Gall on Tomb. J-How, walk me through it.
I'm excited. Cho'Gall, late game hero, just dominating late game hero. Level 4, you have your bombs away talent. Infinite stacking is the name of the game. You get that once you hit 20 heroes with the explosion side, so it requires Cho to go out, Gall to explode it onto a hero. Once you get 20 of those, it goes faster and further, making it much easier to hit those backliners. Post 13, you get cooldown reduction based on enemies hit. You get more cooldown reduction based on heroes hit, which means you can spam that. And then 16, we all know, is where it really dominates, because Cho, you get unstoppable on your Surging Fist, and then for Gall, you get silence on that explosion. So it's all about the Rune Bomb build. That's right, I'm going full in. The last time
you went so
But here's the thing, I say this because the last time Tempo Storm ran this, they did not go the stacking talent at level 4, they reached out to a Cho'Gall duo, one of them being Fazda, who's dominated with Cho'Gall in various points in Open Division. And they're like, you gotta go the level 4 Rune Bomb talent. That's not how it works.
Well, today is the day to rectify those sins as a Cho'Gall player. See if Tempo Storm does that. Have already seen a couple of great shoves, impactful from Vin, getting Cho'Gall out of things like Malfurion roots, and we still see the Abundance build for Alexstrasza. This gives the additional percent-based healing as you continue to get the stacks for that. So that's going to be a great synergy to have with this high hero pool of Cho'Gall.
Well, Taskmaster was picked up, where you have the cooldown, base cooldown, reduced by 10 seconds, and every time Cho is hit by a hero basic attack, reduce the cooldown a shove by 1 second.
Well,
conveniently enough, there's a Tassadar on the other side who auto-attacks, I think, 4 times per second. That helps.
Yep, and the repeater cannon of Phoenix gives you that 150% attack speed. Vala has a pretty fast attack speed too. So all in all, a great adjustment pickup to have versus HeroesHearth's composition.
So the other thing is, Cho can go the bomb rolling back to you. A good Cho'Gall team, when you've played it, you can use that shove. So if I throw the bomb at it, returns to Cho's body, and you can use that shove to create angles to get that explosion on the way back. There's a lot of microing to Cho'Gall that I absolutely adore.
We talked a lot about him and his stacking, but on the topic of stacking, 21 stacks for Fan, playing that Medivh. He'll continue to be building that up. 4 globes nabbed by June in his Alexstrasza so far. There's many a shove for Vin this game. He's got to be having a good time with Caterpillar there. The solo lane adjustment for HeroesHearth, having that Phoenix is super nice, that they can put him in the solo lane versus the Dahaka.
There it was. I'm sorry, that's the exciting part about Cho'Gall. I'm sorry, that was the shove that created the angle. Just keep watching that. If you're a Cho'Gall fan like I am, just keep watching those movements. It's beautiful to watch.
I'm just gonna, you do your thing, buddy. I love it.
That was such a perfect play because they've gotten off to a slow start stacking-wise. 3 stacks is all they've gotten so far.
Tempo Storm needs to step it up because if nothing else, for the happiness of my co-caster, I need you to win this one. I personally would also like more games, but I carpool with this guy and he's gonna be very distraught if this Cho'Gall does not walk away a winner.
I'm gonna have to go in, play a quick match game, have somebody be my Gall, and then have somebody pick Ariel because nobody wants to face that in quick match. It's a terrible thing to do.
You demon.
But it's so fun. Another nice shove there. Denying it from the roots.
Yeah, a lot of these have been having to be used defensively. We're going to see Medivh make his way down, and Glowering was already in position with the body blocks. But as soon as Fan showed up, Arthalon had the retreat with the warp so that he could make it out. It's been another game of no deaths, no kills at all as we head closer and closer into the mid-game. But the first Webweaver phase has started, and this is where Cho'Gall can get a lot of damage done, trying to clear those out quickly.
Every time he gets in melee range, there's going to be another explosion going into Double Trouble at 7. They're going to have a lot to deal with here, but Double Trouble, Shadow Flame hits an enemy hero that is afflicted by Cho's Consuming Blaze.
The one thing I'm concerned about is there is less bodies on the field when you have a Cho'Gall. It's 2 in 1. And defending versus Webweavers, yes, you have a Dahaka, but having an Alexstrasza and the Medivh, they've brought Alexstrasza down now. Medivh's in the top, but HeroesHearth can do quite a lot with these Webweavers, which is why we see them be so aggressive with this. Cho'Gall's doing what he can to clear this out as fast as possible, even using the Dragon Queen there, but they need to clear this out so that they can make the right rotation up to the top, because HeroesHearth has already headed up to take out towers here.
It is a lot that you will endure in the early game on the side of Tempo Storm. See the portal. BBJ might be the target. Krohn deep into enemy territory. Bomb goes out. Making it to 13, defending against Webweavers is incredibly strong just due to the cooldown reduction.
Look at Bot.
Yeah, Phoenix is bodying Dahaka. Phoenix destroys solo laners in this game.
Top and mid were saved, but both front walls. That fort is all but gone before Medivh shows up to help Dahaka. HeroesHearth Esports has 48 out of the 55 gems necessary to get a double turn-in, and I guarantee you, if they can get that, they're going to be looking at forts with that heroic abilities. This is snowball potential, and Cho'Gall trying to get to the late game may not be a possibility if HeroesHearth keeps pressing the issue as hard as they are right now.
It's a very difficult time for Tempo Storm. We've known them heavily prioritize early and often turn-ins. But as you said, less bodies makes that a bit more difficult. They try and get in position to continue to drop those bombs as long as they stay protected. Half portal, 7 stacks, so they have not had the success. That's why triple ranged was picked up. Phoenix dominating that bottom lane, Jude pointed out, taking down the first fort of the game.
Heroic abilities are almost here for Tempo Storm. That's going to help. HeroesHearth need 5 more gems in the bank and try to get that right now, just before Tempo hits 10. Now if Tempo want to get into a fight, they have Web Weavers behind this, and this just allows HeroesHearth to maintain control. You get the turn-ins when otherwise Tempo Storm would be hoping for a fight on even terms, and then you push down structures. But losing Cronin here would be a major problem. So much so the Haymaker knocks back Cho'Gall, but it's just not enough.
The Twilight Hammer, when Cho gets into melee range, which is why you have the Medivh, to get into melee range, get on that knockback. It's a knockback, it's a stun, it's a lot of things for Cho'Gall. Taking down Vala there. Very good start to this. They're gonna give up a lot in the bot lane. As long as they don't give up keeps, the later this game goes, the more favorable it is for Cho'Gall. Sven.
Our European Cho'Gall. Phoenix had that bottom lane so pushed out, but I want to highlight the rotations of HeroesHearth. Yes, they lost Crowan, but how far they pushed out top and where they stood between top and mid allowed the mid Web Weaver to push freely. But they didn't quite get as much as they could have because of the Vala kill, and that's on Tempo Storm. That's really good from them, because they're sitting on 107 gems that they would like to be able to turn in before HeroesHearth gets that 13. Glowering stalking in. They're going to force this fight.
Here we go. Twisting Nether is out. The stun's going to lock him down. That goes off. Twilight, or excuse me, the Tranquility in return is going to thwart the assault. Cho'Gall still continuing to try and stack. Only 9 out of those 20. Getting to that 20 makes it so much easier. Of course, 13 as well with the cooldown reduction will make wave clear a lot easier. Defense on the Web Weavers clear. I think the problem right now is, Gilly, when do they get a turn-in? They have 7 turned in total.
They have so many gems that it's terrifying for them to fight. Portal's there. Sven will take it right on out to freedom. It's going back and forth. This time, though, HeroesHearth have a ways away until they can get the next Web Weavers, but still the sheer amount of control that they have in multiple lanes with 1 extra body. Tempo Storm, the best bet is to get a pick somewhere. Great control over Arthlon, but kept his warp until his team showed up, staying alive, having the heals. Leyline Seal hits a bunch. Cho'Gall, Haymaker back.
Now we're gonna see the assault. No Shadow Bolt volley. I wondered if we would get that just for more clear against Web Weavers and to try and reach that back line. But Twisting Nether at level 20, when you get a blink off of it, that's when the playmaking really comes in. So Twisting Nether in the early game, I don't think you're going to have the same type of value if they can make it to the late game.
That's my concern, and that's why I'm looking at you with a face right now, because we keep talking about late game Cho'Gall, late game Cho'Gall. Can they get there? HeroesHearth quickly approaching their 3rd turn-in. With the lane presence they've had, the wave clear, the great wave clear between Vala, Phoenix, and Tassadar has had a monopoly over turn-in points. Tempo Storm, if they could just get some gems in the bank, and Sven by himself almost has enough. He does have enough because they have 7 turned in already. This would stop a lot of the pressure. This would allow and help Tempo Storm get to that late game more safely, but it's just not happening. Haymaker away for the portal.
Twisting Nether, Life Binder, protected, gonna allow him to heal up to 100%. There it goes. There's a big hammer. Just gonna miss there on Arthlon. Is able to warp out in time. And Gilly, that 13 was not picked up I am a bit surprised, as that is one of the most impactful talents in this build. So we'll see how that goes as the game. The cooldown reduction is insane because it works on minions and heroes.
Well, Tempo Storm hanging in there, still willing to duke it out, especially since they have 13. Ishbu gets into position with the Storm Bolt. Maybe was going to follow up with the Haymaker away from a portal again, but saving that, that heroic ability. We're now at the spot where HeroesHearth can get a turn in, and they have it.
Dragon Queen is out. Ishbu does have his Haymaker. Was in position for a moment. There's no need in risking it. Having that cooldown reduction against these pushes would be so strong. But it is all for naught. And I think this game, the difficulty level just got bumped from hard to very hard for Tempo Storm.
HeroesHearth ideally gets at least one keep here because catapults only makes the issue of limited bodies on the field even worse, because then someone has to deal with the catapults. And there's no Guardian of Tirisfal for Medivh until level 20, which there is still the Global of Dahaka. He can help with that and then stock in later, but it's still an issue of catapults for HeroesHearth. It's also opening up a win condition. Ooh.
Twisting Nether is out. How much can they afford to push forward? Here comes the salvo. Bunker, burrow under for Glaurung.
That Webweaver's almost gone, and the keep's only at half.
Well, Krohan's in trouble.
Nice,
There's the Twilight Hammer. It's also taking keep shots. That's why the Treant was spawned there. The roots went down, not for zoning, but to eat those keep shots, because Krohan took one of those, and as a Bala, you cannot take too many. They continue their assault on this. Sven going forward, 16 here for HeroesHearth, so the Psionic Echo coming down, but against the Cho'Gall, sieging up against this is difficult. 20 was picked up on that, so this is going to go out further and faster now for Cho'Gall on that Rune Bomb.
With 16 comes Manticore for Vala, and that does give some additional max health damage now for that tanky Cho'Gall. Rain of Vengeance for the lockdown too. This is enough to force not only a Leyline Seal, but the Life Binder to give Sven another health bar to keep up the attack. But for HeroesHearth, it's enough time and enough pressure that they walk away a winner in the bottom lane with a keep.
Haymaker might have just saved their lives there as the portal was available. Sven not able to make their way into it. They got away, but Red Webweavers for the first time will be approaching the battleground. Catapults will neutralize a lot of the push in the bottom lane. So for Tempo Storm, they've got to make something happen in the mid and top. The top is already being assaulted by Tempo Storm.
Yeah, such an amazing rotation from HeroesHearth. Very fast, with a lot of clear. Takes that top lane out of the possible ways for Tempo Storm to get a fort down, get some structural damage, get 16. Haymaker hit Sven, who's sitting on 64 gems. But there is so much healing capabilities. If they don't get the kill after the Force of Will, June's going to be able to keep that healed up.
Cho'Gall now has the Unstoppable on his Surging Fists. A lot easier to get away from some of these clutch moments. There it is. There's the silence picked up for Gall. The bomb starting to connect. 25 stacks. So Tempo Storm fighting back. As we get to the later part of this game, you can see just obliterates minions at this point. Twilight Hammer hit, shoved back by Ven. 136 gems still here for Tempo.
Tempo Storm has made it to 16. They have lost one keep, so they cannot fully lose a team fight, or it'll be game over and series over for them. But that turn in gave them some necessary time. It did not open up and take any structures down. It didn't start setting up for a win condition of their own, but they are slowing the pace of the game down, which is something that they really need with this Cho'Gall.
I'm still surprised at the lack of cooldown reduction at 13. That's generally one of the best synergy talents that you can go with this build. The onslaught of Cho'Gall is one of the most feared. Haymaker back. Sven is in deep. They're turning the fight. 4-man silence on that Rune Bomb. massive amount of damage as Sven continues to go forward. Twilight Hammer hits onto Crowan. The bomb's continuing to go. 30 stacks amassed here for Sven.
Yeah, it's starting to be a problem for HeroesHearth, especially through chokes like that. Want to highlight the warp heads up from Arthalon, because had he waited any longer, it would have been dragged and then taken probably enough damage for him to go down. HeroesHearth Esports, though, you're going to keep the pressure on Tempo Storm. Still working their way up to having enough for a Web Weaver fight that might let them in the game, but importantly for HeroesHearth, keeping control over the turn-in points has been crucial for them at all aspects of this game. And since they are working their way toward 20 and having a possible turn-in phase along with that, it's just a little bit longer until they may be able to finish out this game.
The Shadow Flame, because it was completed at level 7, the cooldown reduction is there. And it started to melt. We saw the bomb go out, but the Shadow Flame as well, hitting onto Ishbu on the front line. If Cho can get on to targets, that's where his impact is most felt. Turn in here by June. Twisting Nether, see if that's enough to zone out that. Oh, nice shove there into Crowan. Did receive the shield. Finally get the Web Weavers.
More Web Weavers for Tempo Storm. Keeps them hanging on. They need to get bottom cleared out, starting to get the catapults close to where their keep would have been. And then force out these lanes as best they can to have Web Weavers to push along with. This is still the crucial time for them to try to get a fight before HeroesHearth gets 20, but HeroesHearth willing to hang around, willing to keep the pressure going. Crowan playing aggressively like we saw Fan himself do on that Vala, because he has the Tassadar and the Malfurion behind him.
They have to start getting structures down. They have a lot.
They still have a turn-in after this.
There's a bomb hit. Crowan's health bar just gets obliterated. Shadow Flame continuing to go out. Sven moving forward, but the shields from Tassadar continuing to have such a major impact. Surging Fist goes over. Twilight Hammer knocks back Ishbu.
Phoenix is cleared out bot. Top still going.
Haymaker.
Ishbu in position for the Haymaker.
Oh, the nice interrupt.
Wow, well done by Tempo.
Sven might have just saved Glaurung there, at least saved the Life Binder for another target. Sven manning the front line. Arthalon very deep. Shadow Flame goes out.
Double
Sven
stun.
Getting low. Double stun is there. Life Binder forced to be used. I don't think we have a portal as that's gone down. Salvo in response. Not enough to take down Sven, but it does take down June. Arthalon able to make it out alive.
And happy for that 20 with Unconquered Spirit.
Yeah, because he got blasted there. Medivh second to fall.
Still a top Web Weaver. It's all but dead. HeroesHearth amassing in the bottom lane, knowing that no survivability at all remains for who is left of Tempo Storm except what they have for themselves, because June is gone, Fan is gone. HeroesHearth trying to take out this wave so that they can get onto the core. They know they have a lot behind them. They have great auto attack and great sieging heroes for this core. Can they end the game, the series, right here with this rush?
Twisting Nether is going to have to come out to make the big play. The shields have already fallen 80% and going down. HeroesHearth working their way around. Haymaker's bought a little bit more time here as Sven trying to hold on, but the core has fallen. Twisting Nether is here, but Arthalon on the other side, it's going to be too much damage. HeroesHearth takes down the Titan of Tempo Storm, and more importantly, the Titan in the form of Cho Gall, aka Sven.
Another Cho'Gall game, unfortunately, still not being able to get a win here in North American HGC. But I give that to HeroesHearth. They set up their draft very well. They knew that there was very likely something that was up, and they drafted accordingly to have a massive amount of wave clear, of lane control. They did what they needed to do, and both of these teams, I would credit having a very good understanding of their compositions and their opponents' compositions. It's just that HeroesHearth was the better team this day.
It's weird to think about, because generally when you come in as the underdog or the less favored team, or maybe the second place team versus the first place team, sometimes you feel you have to come in with some unique strategies, maybe shake things up a little bit. Tempo Storm tried to do that in 2 games with the Valera right out of the gate, Cho'Gall in game number 3. This is not the Tempo Storm that I thought would come in. That is almost saying that you are more superior and we feel that we have to do something different to shake things up against you. And that surprises me a bit that Tempo Storm would come in with that. I think they fought hard. Game number 2, obviously, HeroesHearth kept a very controlled pace, and they kept control of almost every single game here. So a testament to HeroesHearth in this series definitely shows now they're at the top by themselves, and they've taken down Tempo Storm here in part 1.
Twice Heroes Hearth. Now, out of the 3 times they've played within HGC this year, Heroes Hearth has been victorious. And the last one meant a lot mentally. Unfortunately, Tempo Storm had such a lead in the standings that Heroes Hearth never could catch up. Almost. They almost did, but they couldn't. So they had to play through the playoffs. And as a reminder, they came down to Game 5. They almost did not go to the midseason brawl. It was almost Octalysis instead. This is so much better and rewarding for Heroes Hearth, a team that works incredibly hard. Both of these teams put a lot of work in, but Heroes Hearth, they have that long-standing roster. They came back from MSB. They didn't have the down period of trying to get used to the meta in North America. They relied a lot on their coach, Cawthon Luck, and now they are the best team in North America as it currently stands.
I even played week 1 without Arthalon, who he's like, look, I need a vacation.
Dude, talking trees, if you look at our stats, he's ruined the rest of the stats. They're so high because he just dominated on his Genji.
Every time we get them, I'm just like, all right, I'm going to put these in to my spreadsheet. I'm going to delete this line because number 1 and like KDA, all this. I'm like, all right, it doesn't count. But definitely filled some shoes there for Arthalon. The drafting there, triple ranged, I would never really recommend for most compositions, but against that Cho'Gall style that Tempo Storm just brought out, I think it was perfectly executed by Heroes Hearth.
Well, let's talk to Arthalon about that gigantic victory. Arth, congratulations. You guys defeat Tempo Storm again, a 3-0. How are you guys feeling right now? You are number 1 in NA.
Oh, we're feeling absolutely fantastic. Yesterday, we were a little shaken up for whatever reason, but I mean, we showed up and played today and can't be happier.
Well, you know, I got to ask you about that Cho'Gall. It seemed like you guys through the draft had the feeling that something was up. Is that the case, or did it completely blindside you and then you just had that Vala that you're able to draft?
I mean, the Medivh definitely raised red flags. We thought they were just going for like a Stitches comp, which is why we banned that.
Yeah.
We didn't see the Cho'Gall coming, but I think we dealt with it well, so.
Thought you did.
Luckily.
Well, I want to hear from you because you guys are a team that came in through the Crucible at the end of last year. You guys started from the bottom, and then now you're here. You are at the top. You are the epitome of the dream of being able to come into HGC and bring that hard work and be able to sit atop our standings now. How are you feeling knowing that you guys, you know, it was likely that you might have been number 1 NA, but now for sure you can show it on the standings?
Oh, it's been a wild ride. It's been awesome. I think we're coming up on our like 1 year as a team about next month, and it feels more like a family at this point instead of a team, because you know it's not just us 5. We have multiple people around us, and it includes everybody. You know, the community, you guys, Twitch chat, everybody.
Oh.
We're all on this wholesome HHE train, and I couldn't be happier.
Well, keep that train rolling and right on into the Western Clash. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys there. And in your final series, I'll ask you about that soon. But first up, Jay-How?
Yeah, Arth, I talked to you earlier this week. It came through on our interview in the segment leading up to this series. You said maybe some spicy drafts. I thought it was going to be you guys. What happened?
Next week we'll try. We'll try.
Well, we ended up using a graphic earlier in this series to compare you and Fan as we took a look at the backliners, and we had Ven and Kron on the other ones. But the hero pools for Fan coming into the series was 12 totals heroes played. For you, 5. That's almost the opposite of what we would have expected in Phase 1. Your hero pool in particular, we also talked about that. Where do you see this team now and the impact that you're able to have as we've narrowed that hero pool? I kind of thought you guys had come close to your ceiling. Now that ceiling seems much higher since you've kind of stepped it up.
That was our definitely big focus for this split, was narrowing down our hero pools and having everybody on their set role instead of just trying to be good at everything. We realized that, we just need to be really good at 1-2 things. We don't have to be mediocre at, 6 or 7. So that's been our big focus. And I think we've done good on that.
Well, to further that point, it seemed in Phase 1, you guys played a lot of Hanzo, had a lot of success. Then towards the end, it's like, well, fine, we're just not going to pick Hanzo. We want to prove that we can play other heroes. Then we see a lot of Johanna. And now you guys are just like, well, we don't have to pick Johanna to win. Are you guys out to prove a point that it doesn't matter that you guys obviously have limited your hero pools, but it doesn't matter what you play, that you can stand toe to toe? Like, is that a mental focus that you guys actually talk about, or is that just circumstance?
I wouldn't say it's because our hero pool is limited. It's just, like I said earlier, we're playing what we're good at, and we're going to play it every time. And it'll be up every time because I think we just have our drafts down and our maps. So
yeah, I think
it's not like you can ban us out. It's just we're just going to pick what we think's best. And it's going to be consistent now instead of these wild comps.
Yeah, I apologize. I meant more you guys were limiting, not that they were limited, because I think you guys still have one of the most varied ones. But for HeroesHearth, obviously you guys going into Western Clash, you've qualified. We know that already. When you start to look towards the Western Clash, Dignitas obviously still at the top, and Europe Method has been showing. Where do you see yourself matching up against some of Europe's best right now as it stands? When you look at them, where do you see yourself in HeroesHearth?
I mean, in this tournament, I can definitely say we're going for that #1 spot. You know, the other two tournaments, I think we were just going there and we were just hoping for the best, going there for a learning experience. But this one, we're looking to take some trophies.
Woo!
And Dignitas is at the top, so we're going for them.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, I'm excited because every time I'm at a LAN event and Arthon is there, I know that I'm no longer the tallest person. So I appreciate you being part of all of these events, Arthon. Thank you so much, and congrats on the win today.
I got your back. Thank you, JH.
I am so happy to hear you guys have finally felt like you reached final form or enough form that you're ready to go for the trophy. I'm very pumped for that. You guys...
Oh, don't get me wrong. We still have a lot of work to do.
Sure. But sweet. That's good to hear. Tell me about you guys' last match versus Simplicity.
We're just going to nail it and leave the season off with a hopefully flawless record.
Were there any of these matches, looking back, that you guys didn't think that you would have? Was this one the hardest, in your opinion, or do you feel like there were any harder?
I'd say Endemic was actually the hardest for us.
Wow.
Freedom was also a hard set just because I wasn't there. We were using a sub.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd say, Octalis was kind of up in the air as well. But overall, we've played really well. So I think it shows.
That you have. Well, Arth, you and HeroesHearth and the rest of your support staff, Cawthon, your coach, and us, who do you want to say to your fam right now?
Just thanks everybody for all the support. We wouldn't be here without you guys. It's been an awesome ride. Thanks to my teammates. Like I said, we're a family at this point. And Cawthon, our coach, he's helped just magnificent amounts. Ramadi, he's always been there for us, talking to us. Renal has been our manager, he's done a great job. And of course, to everyone else in the HeroesHearth community, you guys are doing great. So thank you all.
Thank you, Arth. Congrats again.
Thank you.
Well, it's family when it's like, yeah, I'd say the Team Freedom series was hard for us. Speaking as an individual entity when he wasn't there. It's like, that's hard for us, man. I wasn't there. Like, team did well, but they've shown only dropping 2 games. Is that right? 2 games at this point? 3?
I think so.
2 games.
1 to Endemic and 1 to Freedom.
That is insane to think about, the growth of this team. I know
you've been with him since the beginning, casting Open Division last year too. So these are like his babies right now, all grown up. It's like, if you love them, let them go, but like, don't go too far, my friends.
He says their 1-year anniversary isn't a bit. I'm pretty sure it's already happened.
Yeah.
They lost the first Open Division Cup. The first one they entered, they lost it. That's what's funny about. They won every other one after that, but the first one they actually lost. I don't even remember who they lost to. It's some math team. It still blows my mind that happened.
Memories. Well, let's get excited for making some new memories tomorrow and what we have to offer you for the last day of this weekend's HGC. GG versus Team Liquid. I do think that GG is still possibly in the running. Europe's a little crazy with their standings. Leftovers is still there too. They'll be going up against Monkey Menagerie, and then JHal, we're gonna switch on over to NA.
Yeah, and that's gonna be starting off with LFM versus Freedom, and LFM picking up their first victory. They're gonna try and make it 2, and I think their aggressive approach might be enough to take down Team Freedom, and that could have implications leading into next weekend. And then our nightcap for Sunday is gonna be No Tomorrow versus Simplicity. Two teams are still working their climb up for now. As we saw from No Tomorrow, definitely looking a bit more refined after the today. And they took one game off earlier, looked strong.
Yeah.
Going forward.
I'm sorry.
But we're getting No Tomorrow tomorrow.
Well, that they are. And it's like we saw LFM be able to get their first win over Simplicity. We'll see if No Tomorrow can do it then tomorrow. Thanks for joining us here at the HGC. We'll be back tomorrow with more Heroes of the Storm action. Good night.
Backside to Dragon Arrow, setting it up. Alex Straza is silenced. We see the Lifebinder trying to heal up, but Phoenix not able to keep him alive. Alex first to fall.
Alex goes down, Ardent Defender, keeping Glaurung healthy in the front lines. He's going to be separated from the team as Ishbu has the charge to dive in. Avenging Wrath started to be charged up, but Yrel falls. Just zoning of Heroes Hearth is far too good. The Scatter Arrow wasn't able to stop that, and BBJ gets the channel, but Tempo's going for the fight.
Lifebinder, fans identified. They're turning their targets onto Valera. Valera's going to be the first to fall in this fight. Scatter Arrow doing a lot of damage, but Glaurung is going to be the target. Second member down on the side of Tempo Storm.
Let's have to fight into that. Nature's Cure was forced to be used. Taunt, the Cattle was the target. Mine's going to throw McIntyre back. He has to use Void Prism, which Cattle goes inside. The Tranquility starting to heal McIntyre back up.
He's alive, but he's continuing to get peppered away as those grenades are hitting. Ishbu's still holding on to that control point. Nobody established just yet. Lightning Breath is out. This is the increased duration. Salvo comes out. Hanzo the first to fall. Bunker goes down. The Lightning Breath still out. Will Blaze make it out alive? McIntyre goes in and gets the cleave there. Very deep. Shadow Flame goes out.
Double
Smith
stun.
Getting low. Double stun is there. Lifebinder forced to be used. I don't think we have a portal as that's gone down. Salvo in response. Not enough to take down Sven, but it does take down June. Arthlon able to make it out alive.
And happy for that 20 with Unconquered Spirit.
Yeah, because he got blasted there.
With this rush.
Twisting Nether is going to have to come out to make the big play. The shields have already fallen 80% and going down. Heroes Hearth working their way around. Haymaker's bought a little bit more time here as Sven trying to hold on, but the core has fallen. Twisting Nether is here, but Arthlon on the other side, it's going to be too much damage. Heroes Hearth takes down the Titan